Okay, shush. Get ready. And you're on.
I like that intro, Jeff. That's dramatic. I like that one.
Thank you.
That one's good,
I felt like I should be in a roller coaster or something.
Yeah,
Right? An action movie.
Something's going to happen in this movie right now. We're going to have to run out of here. So, good morning, everybody. I'm here with Val and Jackie with the Laughlin Chamber, and we have a third guest.
Mascot.
Who is this?
Gracie Lou Freebush.
That's a lot.
Gracie.
Now, I've been told Gracie Lou is not going to attack.
Correct.
No teeth.
No teeth.
No teeth. All right.
You'll find her tail.
Are we safe?
You'll find her tongue hanging out past her chin in a minute.
Yeah. She'll bark at you, but that's only because you haven't touched her yet.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey, look, you're good over here.
By the way, she's rescued right here from our community.
Very good.
In 2018, she was a pretty
You
bad
might
shape.
be our best behaved guest yet, so I'm a big fan.
She's a little more behaved than Jackie.
Oh, well, I believe that for sure. I believe that
That's
for
funny.
sure. So.
I have to admit.
Yeah, so welcome, Gracie. Welcome, everybody. Thanks
you.
for coming and joining us. I know that you guys always have so much going on. I don't even know where to start, really, in that we went through some of those pictures and things like that. You guys have a lot of big events coming up. So Finally, yes. So even on the bullhead side, we were pretty restricted for a while. And what people don't realize is even when you can do things, you can't just snap and make them happen. You know, it's really hard to plan for, get things ready for. People have to be prepared and be able to get involved. And it was a long time coming to get things back to where we're starting to have some fun again. So.
And some of the pocketbooks were a little restrained. So some of the sponsorships for things were a little slow coming, but we're building back.
Yeah, yeah,
Not to mention that our resorts, when they came back open, were only at about 62% staffed.
Yeah.
So even if we could do it based on regulation for COVID and the state that we're in, which is Nevada, we couldn't because there wasn't anybody to do it.
Yeah. Is that the big holdup over there currently? Is just staffing?
Well, now we're open. We didn't have Chef's Food Fest for that reason in June. Chef's Food Fest was going to be the big one coming back because we don't have to sell tickets for that. They sell themselves. Yes. It's the most anticipated event that we have. It's just huge, and it's 35 years old. So we had to
love food.
Especially really good food.
You hit a soft spot.
Love food. Especially I've been up since like 4 a.m. and I haven't really eaten any real food yet. I'm like, man, some Chef's Food would be good.
Plus, if you worked out today, you've been built up.
I did. I'm starving, so.
So anyways.
You may have to move. I'm that hungry.
Just don't eat the dog.
You'd be a great snack.
She's only 5 pounds, though. It won't fill you
that's
up.
not a lot.
So we did have to move past Chef's Food Fest, but coming up is something that people have been anticipating for the last couple of years, and it's popular outside of our region, and that is the Tri-State Mega Mixer.
Which is unique in that it brings in other chambers, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
We go out and invite chambers from at least 300 miles away, and they bring some of their business members. And
Are you being bad? What happened? Are you being bad?
Well, she was licking something.
Oh, you do what you got to do. Listen.
So there's the flyer for you guys.
I defended nose picking earlier. You can do whatever you want to do. So there's your flyer. You got a lot going on now. Where's the furthest one coming from this year? Do you know?
I would anticipate somewhere around Phoenix. I have heard from Wickenburg. I have heard from Mesa. So, yeah.
You know, something that's kind of neat is our community has been pretty resilient. Combination of where we're located, the people that we have here. A lot of places have not been opened up for long. A lot of places have not. So they're very anxious to get out and come out and interact and mingle again. So have you found a lot of that out there?
The Las Vegas Sun actually did a really big article on us, if you want to look it up sometime. It was about how Laughlin had the occupancy numbers after COVID left, opposed to other rural environments in the same state as Nevada, right? Because we had the water and the open spaces and the great camping.
I remember at one point, like I was watching, probably not on television, but I was watching something on my phone. It was like, man, all these places empty, ghost town. And I remember driving, and I drove past Davis Camp at one point. And I was like,
It's not empty.
That's not right. And then, Laughlin was pretty limited.
Yes.
But if you went anywhere where you could be, there were people. And again, that's a real unique combination. I really think of where we're at, in terms of our geographic location. We're hop, skip from everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And if you're stuck at home and you can be 2 hours and be at the river doing whatever where it's less restricted, people really gravitated. So.
Oh, they did. There was lines of people trying to get into Big Bend on the Nevada side. Lines of people just trying to go to the beach, and then they'd have to close it off. At some point, they would hit capacity.
So this is a little off subject, but man, how crazy was this last weekend in Laughlin? Labor Day, obviously the storm, the power outage. I ended up going. I felt so bad. About 12:30, I said, "To hell with this. Are there any rooms left?" So I booked a room, and I was pretty cool. It didn't really bother me too much. I just wanted to sleep in air conditioning. Like I could during the day, I'll be fine, but sleeping, I'm a guy. I'm a fan guy. Air conditioning, like the whole bit. So I go over and the line was through the roof. There's only 2 people working.
Yes.
And I mean, people were just irate. And I felt so bad. And I walked up to this girl and I said, "You all right?" She's like, "It's so bad."
Well, on a normal basis, they wouldn't have had more staff on hand.
Yeah.
So those poor people were the only ones there.
Oh, it was so bad. And I just couldn't believe how, look, I got my moments too. I get a little grumpy, but in lieu of the situation, I figure you got to be pretty understanding of what's going on. So
he gets hangry.
I had eaten, so I was good. So yeah,
watch out, Jackie.
Me and my daughter, all we had was steaks and watermelon. So we grilled steaks and ate them off the back of the truck and watched the fireworks before we went over there. And
we were there.
Oh, how was that?
That was grand.
Yeah.
I had a whole new level of exfoliation happening everywhere.
Oh, man.
You're sandblasted.
We were sandblasted.
Yeah.
We lost a cover for one of our chairs. It was crazy.
So we sat up on a hill. We were really just preoccupied with the storm. Then we're like, oh, the fireworks. So we just drove up this dirt hill by my house. And it was a really cool backdrop from that far away because you had fireworks going off and all that lightning in the mountains still.
Oh, wow.
It was pretty rad. And I was like, this was a good one, baby. Good job.
I wasn't so blessed.
Oh, no.
I was on my speedboat in the middle of the lake.
Oh, yeah.
Capsized boats, people floating around on their seat cushions from their boats because their boats were at the bottom of the lake. We were scared to death. We had all the children in the bow of the boat protected.
So I was a little grumpy because I wanted to go out and I just didn't hear from people. And I kind of just did at this point, it's late in the day. It's a holiday weekend. I don't want to deal with the crowds. I'm not even going to bother. And then all my friends who went out were posting. I mean, you're talking 5-foot swells out there. And I saw huge power boats, and they're boom, boom. I thought my poor little boat would have been underwater.
Yeah.
We were
please beam my insurance up,
We saw a ski flip over right before all the haboob hit. I mean, it was, and no idea if he ever flipped it back over to get out.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. Once that weather came in, it's hard enough to operate on the water as it is.
I saw grown men crying.
Yeah, I believe it.
There goes my boat.
I would have been one of them.
Yeah.
I would have been that guy. So, but anyway, I brought that up just because how grateful we are to have Laughlin, everyone over there, and everyone still powering through all the BS we all deal with. So that line to In-N-Out was around the building. It was crazy. So
the resort stepped up, and they've donated pallets of water to Bullhead City for all the people who still are without power.
For a couple more days in some places.
Yeah. So yesterday that was part of the food distribution. They were able to get more pallets of water.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very exciting.
We're all very lucky.
And you guys have COVID-19 tests, let's not forget.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so this is really interesting. We were talking about it, especially for us on the Arizona side where we just pretended COVID didn't exist for 2 years.
Yes.
It's true.
These, you managed to reach out and get put together 7,500 packages?
Yeah, well, we were a little underserved. We are an underserved community.
Right.
We have a very high percentage of people living under the poverty level in the state of Nevada. So when we got to the point where I saw the COVID numbers going back up and people were starting to stress, I just made a few phone calls and found that they had warehouses full of PPE that were just sitting there and they needed to go before expiration dates arrived. So I asked him for a menu. And I got the menu and I was looking at it and he's on the phone. I said, so how many can I have? He says, how many do you want? I said, let's go to tests. He said, okay. I said, okay, I have 9,000 residents. How about 30,000? He said, okay, what's next?
Oh my goodness.
And I went, you're going to give me 30,000? He said, yeah. So then I got gloves in every
Girl, I
size.
meant 40,000.
So I got gloves in every size. I got 6 packs of the white cotton, KN95s, sanitizer, and 4 test kits in every single one of those bags. And we've been handing them out free. Their value is $44.50.
Yeah, I know when I check out at I think Safeway and Target, they have a little test right there, and I'm like, look, I'll take a test, but I'm not paying for it. So, so if you guys got it for free, you better go get one because I don't want to pay for one.
Come
you
visit
know?
the
So,
office.
Yeah.
We've been handing them out. Whoever needs one, whoever's wants something for just in case.
Yeah.
They're there.
And we're just telling people to take them and put them underneath their bathroom sink and just leave them there.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I know that Christy grabbed me one. It's in my office, and whenever somebody starts getting a little sniffle, I'm like, listen,
Here's a test.
go take that test and let me know what it says from a distance. You know, that's
And we have plenty more.
yeah,
Yeah.
good. That's great. So if you guys need one,
They're free, by the way,
reach
just
out.
because their
Yep.
value is $44.50. They're free
You
to
can get
anyone.
it here right now for $39.99. No, I'm just
Scored.
kidding. So. Sorry, my car got kicked in there for a second.
Right?
But yes, free to you guys. And, you know, little stuff like that's going to be, it's never going to go away at this point. You know, we're going to adapt and things will come and go. But you need to start being able to function with it.
Yes.
That's a great way of being able to know what you're dealing with and having the stuff to kind of keep yourself and your loved ones safe. So
Yes.
that's kind of the first step we can all take as individuals to kind of help everyone in the greater.
Yeah, the volunteers in partnership and people came out of the woodwork to
Oh,
come over to the
yes.
mall and just help us make them.
Mall walkers. Mall walkers stop by. What are you doing? Oh, can I help? And they stopped and they stuffed some bags.
Tell them, listen, you need to get your steps in first and then come back and see me.
Yeah, like Kent from Renaissance Realty, he gave us the money for all the bags and the labels
Oh,
and
that's
all that
awesome.
stuff.
Yeah.
And then my Rotary over in Laughlin, we did a whole lot of work in there on our Rotary nights where we were having
Yes.
meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was lots of fun, really.
You know, and that's really the only way to get things done is, you know, having everybody put in a little bit.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's really the best way to get things done. So one of the things that you sent us over is one of my favorite things, and that's Community Achievement Awards.
Oh, yes.
Achievement Awards, or you disqualify
not.
yourself?
We
do
are
not.
not eligible.
Nobody would believe that was fair and
No. Even though we do not have a say in the judging, bios and nominations all went into those judges' books. We went and did a round table and stuffed books.
Yeah.
So it's a lot.
So how long? I didn't see on the flyer. I'm sure it was on the flyer. I just didn't look. How long has the Community Achievement Awards been going?
25.
25.
This will be the 25th.
What was the purpose when it started? Was it really meant to kind of rally people, recognize people? What was the initial thought?
So, like the Chef's Food Fest was created by the chefs. They wanted a way in Laughlin
That
to
would
show
show
off
off,
their
yeah.
skills and raise money for the people who don't get to eat. We eat so you can eat was their whole motto for a
Yes.
long, long time. Same with the Community Achievement Awards. There was ways that they wanted to, besides like the firemen or the policemen giving hero awards, they wanted to recognize other people that were doing amazing things. They wanted to do it in their own community. Right? So when they decided to start doing this, it originally, I think Bullhead Chamber had some kind of a partnership in it, and then it fell away, or we weren't here, so we didn't know. But all we know now is that about 60 to 70% of the winners or nominees in the Community Achievement Awards comes from the on the Bullhead side. They're Arizona residents. About 30 to 40% come from the Nevada side. So it's very split by percentage
Yeah.
of resident, right? So it's very fair all the way
Yeah.
around. This year we got about 130.
We didn't believe that until we won. When Finley won, we're like, yeah, it's definitely fair, guys.
Now it's fair.
We're like, nope, definitely not fair. Oh, we won. Yeah, it's fair.
We got
So-
over 130 nominations. Then she has to collect all the biographical data sheets for each one of those. Then we have to put them in a binder with a rating sheet. And
So-
then we gave 7 judges those binders.
If you've ever been to one, and I've not been a judge, but I've been fortunate enough to go and represent Finley a couple times. And the thing that they have there, it's like,
It's a 4-inch
It's-
binder full
Oh.
of paper.
yeah, it looks like it's got like nuke codes in it or something, you know, like it's like, oh my goodness. So it's
Yes.
it's really well done, really well put together, and it's almost always a great group of judges who are involved in the community, know what's really going on.
Well, thank you.
and
I handpicked
so-
those.
Well done. So good job.
The reason I do that, the reason I pick on myself all alone, is because I want diversity from age, race, sexuality, whether it's male or female, or it could be someone of the LGBTQ community. I need somebody with good socioeconomic diverse, so someone that is not affluent and someone that is. I like them. Right now we have 3 from Arizona, 3 from Nevada, and the head judge this year is Matt Laughlin because he was Citizen of the Year last year. That's
That
the
seems
rule.
fair. That seems reasonable.
If you're a Citizen of the Year, you have to volunteer the next year.
Yeah, you got to put a little service back in after you get recognized.
So he's the lead judge. He's leading
great.
the rest of the judges.
Oh, very cool. I've known Matt for a long time, and to see him grow into the role he is really cool. So
I have to share this. When I send them a questionnaire, I always ask them what's their motto or theme or mantra that they live by, and then what is their most amazing thing that they've ever done in their life. And it wasn't about his kids.
Oh, yeah?
It was about the fact that he gets to experience time with his grandfather every day. And when he talks about it, it's so enlightening because he gets to meet with them every single day and talk about then and now.
Hopefully, I don't think Matt's on Facebook. He probably won't see this, but someone might tell him. When we were young, we were just hanging out with this kid, Matt. Mm-hmm. And, that's Matt Laughlin. Okay. Well, then he goes, we got to go talk to my grandpa when we go in, and like we'd go to the movies or whatever. We'd run amok at the Riverside is what we did. So we'd go over there, and then we're like, that's Don Laughlin. Like I'm new to town. I didn't know. All I ever saw was advertisement, things like that. And I was like, oh, that's just his grandpa, And so at a very early age, I saw both of them in a very different light. And obviously knowing the relationship they had now, I was 13-ish then, and Matt's younger than I am, so that's a long time ago. And then to see where he's at now and have that be such a big part of his life.
He's so great.
They're very impressive binders.
For 2 weeks, they have to take them home and read every single page and come down with their final 4. And next week we meet with them, and they tell us who their final 4 is in each category. And then they have to interview every final 4.
Yes.
Oh man.
For 2 days.
We don't have the same. We do our athlete of the year stuff like that, and we really enjoy that. And although it initially seemed like that would be the most burdensome part of that thing, it's actually the best part.
Yes.
So when we sat and we talked to kids and teachers and other people who were nominated for things, I was blown away and I should have expected more. I don't know. But I was blown away at what those people had to say, why they do it, what they've accomplished.
Yes.
And
these
it's
events
the best
are
part.
amazing because there's a lot of people who just kind of stay under the radar. They do what they do because that's their personality. They don't want the recognition. So for somebody else to nominate them and then you finally get to pull a little bit of that information from them, it really is. It is amazing.
The teachers we interviewed basically didn't want to be recognized.
None of them.
And then you think about all they deal with in terms of, being underpaid, underappreciated, understaffed, underserved, under whatever. And then you get recognized and like, I just do it because I love it. And you're like, wow,
I actually had people call me or email me and say, I don't know what to say about myself. And I'm like, just tell me what you do and why you do it. And I know it's weird to talk about yourself, but this is your opportunity to say, this is me, this is why.
Selling yourself is not easy.
And
when you're sitting in front of a 7-panel judging team, and they're all staring at you with their books open and they're writing, it's really kind of scary. But you also find the emotion in these people that have been buried for a long, long time.
So we had an employee nominated this year, and she was she did not hide her emotion. She was so happy. So, that big Christy energy is a little different than the Shane energy. When Christy's on the show, everybody's going to be laughing. You guys are going to be hugging, doing all kinds of stuff. And so when she found out, she was very, very excited. And so it was cool to see, someone who's
I actually was super excited with some of the nominations that came in. I would go in and I'm like, Jackie! Because they had never been nominated before. And I know I've seen some of the stuff that they do. And it's nice to see that somebody else is acknowledging it.
So then this is where the diverse judging comes in.
Yes.
So not only do they have to debate and agree on the final 4 in each category, but then after the final 4 have been nominated, they have to come to this dinner where alcohol may be involved.
No way.
The last night is all about choosing who the winner is in each category, and you have diversity. One, I won't say who, but this one year we had a dispensary owner and a magnet cop.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, imagine what
That's
that
an
conversation
easy
was
duo,
like.
yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh,
But
yeah.
those are the kind of things you want to meet
Yep.
in the middle and start talking about it.
Yeah. Again, not to piggyback too much. We have a similar thing when we do ours at the end of the year for our ACES Awards. And
Congratulations, you guys are doing good on that, by the
Yes.
way.
oh, thank you. We found it to be very rewarding.
Yeah,
So
for
we're
sure.
we're learning. What's new to us is what you guys have known for a long time. So, but we kind of have the same thing, and we have very unique people involved. You know, you got meathead football guy Shane, and then you have like Lisa's on. And Lisa's the biggest heart person I know, and so she looks at things from a completely different perspective. And then
Exactly.
everybody kind of lays it on the table, and you go from there, and it's a lot of fun.
I think
I go, I didn't even think of that. Like, oh,
Right?
Yes,
Yeah, so,
exactly.
yeah, it's
and
great.
one of the things with that last night that the judges make their final decision, they walk away totally confused because they don't have a clue. It's all done by secret ballot.
Secret ballot.
I collect
Yes.
it and I tell them, okay, no ties, move along, and they'll just be like,
Don't we get to know before we leave?
That's great.
They have no idea.
Yeah, it's
So
pretty
that way
fun.
they'll be just as surprised that night, and nothing leaks.
Yeah.
All right, and then we have this to talk about, you guys.
Oh,
Oh yes.
Oh.
So
Coming
this
up
is really
soon.
cool.
I know most people don't know about this unless you've really read up on the Volunteers in Partnership. We call them the VIPs. We are about 100 strong right now.
Great phrasing. I like that.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's elite.
That's 100 strong. They're all background checked
Uh-huh.
before they can volunteer with us because they work with a lot of adolescents,
Mm-hmm.
children, and they work with elderly and people who are handicapped, and they have to have the right mentality and spirit about volunteering. It's really important. That's why we mentor interact students too. So they go to all these things for us. They work for mostly Chamber and LTC, parking cars, handing out tickets. They go to the LEC, scan your ticket at the concert, make sure that you're sitting in your right seat. They do all of this stuff without a paycheck. But people like LEC or Best in the Desert or the airport, there are
airport.
full-time ambassadors at this airport. The only people that can be ambassadors at Laughlin Bullhead
wow.
Airport is a VIP. And they get money for doing that. Donations is what it's called. So they put it in the bank. Right now they have over $20,000 in the bank.
Wow.
Just
Cool.
from collecting money over a year. But about this time of year, they just sent out requests for applications. It's done on the 15th of this month. If you don't have your application in as a 501c3 requesting money or donation, then you won't be considered.
So all you need to do, if you're a 501c, then you need to go to the Laughlin Chamber website, go to Volunteers in Partnership. At the bottom, it has a button for you to start filling out all your information, so that way you can be considered for a donation.
Request what you need and why you need it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we
And then,
did,
wait a second, and then in January, they give away $10,000.
Eesh, that's a lot of money.
Yes.
So it's really interesting. I do some fundraising for my son's football team, and there are some opportunities out there a lot of people don't know about.
Correct.
You know,
Yes.
so it's really important that these nonprofits reach out and understand where they can try and
Absolutely.
get some money from. And we do a lot for Findlay, but we cannot do everybody.
No.
So if you can find
No.
some money out there somewhere else, that is a huge huge
needs
win
to
for
be
you
a
guys. So,
partnership.
yeah.
And it's open still till the 15th. You can
Yes.
apply. So even your team
Yes.
can apply.
The schools.
You hear that, school?
We've
Ask for
had-
some money.
We've
Yeah.
had little league, a whole bunch of different places, both sides of the river. You do need to be able to support both sides of the river at some point, some way, whether it be
Sports,
or
pets.
pets. Yes. So we want to make sure that it goes out to our tri-state community.
Yeah. And we have a new general manager, and I'm terrible at dates. Like everything's been a couple years for me. It's been
Yes.
10 years. Everything's a couple years. So Tony's been with us for quite a while, and he came from Vegas. And trying to explain to him the relationship between Laughlin and Bullhead is really complicated. Like there are some very divided things. Like this is a different county, this is a different county, this is a different state, this is a different state, this is that. But we're all the same people.
Yes.
Like kids live here, live there. They hang out together, go to school together, do
Yes.
whatever together. It's really unique. There's not a lot of situations.
They
There's
go
a lot
to
of
the Boys and Girls Club together.
yeah, and they
Yes.
grew up together. It's a very unique situation. And then, of course, you go right down the river a couple minutes. You got Needles, which is a whole other state, county, school, and it's all one community.
You might not know the statistic that I should share with you.
I definitely don't, because I don't know statistics. I'm like, what was that number again? Anyway.
You'll remember this one. 84.3% of the people that operate the resorts in Laughlin don't live in the state of Nevada.
Oh, I believe that. Yeah.
84.3.
Wow.
That means that the world tilts on its axis at shift change.
Yes.
So
I
they go
believe it. I
across
see
the
the
river,
traffic, yeah.
and they come back across. But that is real. That means that where would Laughlin be without the people from Arizona? And where would
Right.
Arizona be without the place to go to work?
100%.
It's so important for us to remember that our community is one.
Do you still get a lot of people who are kind of divided? That's not our thing. That's not our thing. Or is most of our
Oh, yes.
community kind of? You got
There's
a lot of
still
people who are like,
some.
no, that's not us.
Yep.
There's still
odd.
some.
It's
Yeah.
changing a lot.
Yeah.
It's changing a lot. But you also have to remember that we, as a Laughlin, are also always compared to Las Vegas, and you can't compare us.
No.
Yeah, no.
And
Especially
even-
the stuff right in the same county. It's
We run
you
around
know,
and